Welcome everybody to the Traction REIA meeting, August 2024. On the chat, I'm gonna put our agenda for today. And then I'm gonna put the newsletter for August. And then that way you guys have all the information that you need, that you have information about our events, our sponsors, a few announcements, membership information. And should we get the party started? Yes, let me share my screen. And then I'm gonna say welcome. And we're gonna make this screen bigger if I figure it out. There you go. Welcome, welcome everybody. It's really good to see all of you. I love seeing faces that I haven't seen in 5, 6, 7, even 10 years. So welcome to Traction. We're really happy to have you here. This is me, Carolina. That's where Tom is right now. My lovely husband, Tom ZEEB, is speaking of the Greenboro REIA. So that's why, lucky you guys, you have me for the next 2.5 hours. I'll be your host. So that's me. If you say Carolina, don't worry. I know that is me, Caroline. One time somebody called me Catalina, but it's Carolina. Welcome, welcome everybody. Good to have you all here. Ooh, the disclaimer. Don't worry. This is just a little one slide. Not even a warning. It's just a little disclaimer. We are a proper real estate association. We're going to be talking about real estate. We're going to be talking about money. And we just ask you to do your own due diligence. We just ask you to be an adult. We just ask you to just use common sense as always. And make sure that you tell people about us. There are a lot of people in the real estate industry that don't realize the power of a REIA. They don't realize the power of Traction as a community. So make sure you share that with everybody. And then, oh, also, if you can turn your cameras on, that will be lovely. I would love to see your beautiful face. We ask you to stay muted unless we ask you to unmute. For example, later we're going to have a success story segment on deal maker segment. That will be a good time for you to unmute, or maybe at the end of the event, we have a Q&A from our speakers. So that's also a good time. But in the meantime, stay muted. Also on the chat, we use that for information, for staying connected. Please don't use it as a kind of a side party there on the chat. And that's all the scary things I have to tell you. Okay, what else? Our Facebook group. If you haven't, please join our group. Sometimes you miss an email from us and then you see my post and then remember that our meeting is coming up. So it's always good to have the Facebook group in there. If you haven't, make sure you download Tom's podcast or listen to it. It's in all the usual places where you can listen to audio and music. So make sure you download that, and anytime you're in the car or going for a run or walking, or if you're in Florida, if you go in your boat or your jet ski, look, hearing some of Tom's voice, that'd be great. It's the Art of Science of Real Estate Negotiation. Also, Tom has a really cool book. It's a quick read, but really, really valuable information. It's available on Amazon. Or Google Tom ZEEB, and then you'll see his book right there on Amazon. If you haven't, make sure you have the app with you. It'll remind you events, trainings. We have a lot of information in there. So this is a good way for you to stay connected with us. So that's the Traction app. I always like to thank our ambassadors, our volunteers that have helped us in person, in DC, in Florida, and online. Thank you so much. I love this photo. That's Crystal and Dwayne. That was our Christmas party, and there's Clone. Thank you so much for that. And I know Jeannie was there, our Florida lady. Thank you so much, Jeannie. for all you've done for Traction. Always happy to have amazing people as part of the Traction family. If you're joining us for the first time and you're wondering what's Traction, well, we're the only approved chapter for the DC metro area and also for Tampa and Sarasota. And we are so happy that we can connect with all of you online every month, even if you're not in this region. But the association itself, we cover those two main areas. And we are really proud of the awards that we have received in the past 15 years, because they really push us to be better for you, to make a better website, to provide more information, better information, to keep up to date on legislation. If there are, there's a new bill coming up, or if there's somebody in Maryland that wants to avoid the word wholesaling or kick all the wholesalers out, then we have a good network of people, National REIA, that can support us. We have great Traction members in both Florida and DC that can support us. So our job is to give you all the information, the resources, and the tools. So National REIA plays a big part of our core values and what we do for you guys. And yes, I always brag about the photos. And the next National REIA convention is in October. And we'll be there learning and networking with other REIA leaders all over the country. So it's a fantastic event and we love it. Let's bring our sponsors in. I know Sam is there. Sam, why don't you go ahead? Let me see who's, yeah, perfect. Sam, I'm going to add you to my spotlight. There you go.
Thank you so much.
How are you, Sam?
I'm good. I'm good.
About Clear Sky and how you can help.
We've been with you so many years, I've forgotten how many years, but we're a hard money lender, Virginia, Maryland, DC, Florida, and you can reach out to us for creative ways to finance your flips. That's our main focus. We have other loan products. We've been working with DSCR loans lately, and a lot of familiar faces out there, some people that are our clients. So it's good to see everybody. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sam. And
I like the little pink streaks that are coming through the logo area there now.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Little new graphics. It's cool.
Okay. Oh yeah.
All right. Thank you.
And I'm gonna put Sam's information on the chat momentarily.
Thank you. Yeah, reach out to me or Charlie. We've been in business for more than 20 years and together, and been doing hard money loans for about 10, maybe a little longer. Yeah.
Fantastic. We're always happy to have you, Sam. So I'll put his information on the chat momentarily. And I'm gonna bring let's see who's next on my. Okay, let me tell you about Specialized, and then I'll let you know when you're in, Claude. Specialized Trust Company is self-directed IRA 401k provider. This is a fantastic tool that every single real estate investor should have. If this is the first time you're hearing this concept, I want you to go to their website. They have fantastic information, and then they can help you do real estate transactions inside your self-directed IRA, tax-free. So this is an amazing tool that we all should be. I've been using it for almost 20 years. I'm getting old. But you should be able to start using it at any point. And this is a beautiful, beautiful tool that we all have. So check them out. Their website is right there, and I will put their contact information as well. Let's see, Claude, I see you to my spotlight. Hey, Claude.
Hi, Carolina. So you're not getting old, you're just getting well-aged, like fine wine. Besides you started in high school. Claude Gladby, Realty for Your Busy Life. I'm a realtor here in the DC area, and I tend to focus on clients who are investment focused, whether they, even when they're buying their home, right? So like the decision you make today for the house for you and your family will have financial impact, whether that be 10, 20 years down the road. So let's make sure we make the decision today that has the right impact down the road. and also work with lots of flippers who want to know what the house is worth today, what the house will be worth when it's renovated. I spend a lot of time doing that. My info is there on the screen. I'm sure it's in the newsletter, and I'll be back in about a half hour to talk to you about what's happening, at least in the market here, and you can hopefully take that thinking to your local market.
Yes. Claude, when did you start doing the market update for us?
So 2010, 2011, 2012, like in that, after your
Fantastic.
son was born, I think.
Yeah, that's how I sometimes
Yeah.
time.
We weren't
How
doing
long
it at the start,
yeah.
so yeah.
Well, as he said, he's our market expert. We love having Claude's view of the market, so he's gonna share that with us very, very soon. Thank you, Claude, for being a fantastic asset to Traction and for being here. Thank you. Okay, what's next? What do I have next? If my mouse decides to work. There you go. Okay, accurate 1031 exchange. If you have not heard of this concept, another beautiful tool. It's a fantastic strategy if you're selling a investment property, and instead of paying 15% on the gains of that sale, you could move the profits, or you can move the money that you got from the sale and move it into another property and then don't pay taxes. You do need somebody in the middle to hold your hand. That's what Accurate will do for you. And then guess what? Another David, is doing a webinar for us next Tuesday. The information is on the website. It's also in our newsletter, and then I'll post it shortly. But great technique that we all need to know about. Okay, so that's Accurate. The Gutman Guide, it's a resource of information. They have market updates. They have a lot of good info for our industry, so you can check that out. Deal Machine is another great sponsor. This is a special software. It's another tool for you to find leads and to find deals. You can sign up for a 7-day free trial. If you go to our website, tractionrea.com. Whoop, I went too fast. Tractionrea.com. Come on, one more. Deal Machine. Click in there, and then it'll give you kind of a free trial, and it's fantastic. You can see the information of each property, who owns it. It's a fantastic tool to get more leads. Let's talk about some success stories. And just a few rules. This is not the place and time to sell your services. That's only for approved sponsors. And that's my son, Dominic. Open the front. No, I'm gonna open this. Sorry, everybody. Give me 20 seconds and I'll be right back, because my son is outside and cannot get in. And that's what happens when you forget to leave the door open. So that was Dominic. A good thing that he came that way. He knew that was in a meeting. So, okay, success stories. This is a perfect time for you to share your success. It's not the time for you to sell me on Amway or on vitamins, on trips. No, this is the time for you to tell me, I just sent my first postcards. I just closed my first deal, or I just closed my 150th deal. So if you want to share any success, just go ahead and unmute, and I'll put you on the spotlight. Anybody wants to share some success? Anybody? Don't be shy. Nobody? No? Yes? Maybe? Okay. Don't worry. Some of you might not be that shy later on. Hi, Dominic. Yes. If you come and say hi. Okay. Okay, the next portion is deal makers. This is for Traction REIA Association members only, meaning you paid the membership dues. If you're not sure what that is, then you're probably not a member yet. So if you have paid your dues and you wanna share a deal that you have control of it could be under contract, you have the listing, feel free to, to share it here with us. So go ahead if you wanna share it. You can unmute and Share your deal. Anybody? SoundCloud, anybody? Okay, going once, going twice. Yeah, outside. Okay, so go in the mailbox. Okay, I love how I can juggle 5 things at a time. Awesome. Okay, people, let's talk about Home Depot. I'll be short, but very sweet. This is what you need to remember. These are benefits: 20% on paint, 10% off cabinets, 2% cash back. And I'll tell you a bit about the rebate in a moment. And then in general, Home Depot is going to look at you completely different. So those are the benefits. This was Dominic when he was little, and now he's 9. He can knock on the door. So he's here to remind us, please, please, please make sure that you're properly registered for the rebate. Make sure you have the code. Make sure you have all the credit cards. Make sure that you're following all the steps. And now Home Depot is going a bit more particular when it comes to the rebates. They're asking us to send them a membership list every 6 months. And if your name is not on that list, they're not going to send you the rebate. So they just did a big audit in June, at the end of June. Some of you might got an email saying, hey, what's up with your membership? So make sure that you're up to date and that you're making the most out of this amazing partnership. If you don't understand my lovely Colombian accent and you don't understand a word that I'm saying, you can always go to the Home Depot rebate section on our member area of our website and just download the instructions and then make sure that you're properly registered. Also, I want you to take a look. Once you log into your Pro Extra account, I want you to make sure that you have this little thing that says Gold Paint. That's what's going to give you 20% off. If you do not have that, please email me, reach out to me. It's Carolina Traction REIA or info@Traction REIA. If you cannot spell my name, and I'll set you up. I'll make sure that you are properly registered. Okay. And if you answered yes to these 3 questions, you will receive your rebate. Is your membership current? Did you spend more than $5,000 between January and June of this year? And are you properly registered with all the credit cards and with the code on the Pro Extra? If your answer is yes, you should be getting the check by the end of September. There's usually 60 days from the end of the first half, so it'll be end of August. It might take a few more weeks because they did the big audit. But if you don't get it by, let's say, September 5th or 6th, please reach out to me and we'll find out what happened, okay? These are other benefits that you get as a Traction member. Office Depot gives us discount. Rent Perfect is a great tool if you want to screen your tenants, even discounts on FedEx and Six Flags. Office Depot is fantastic. I always do the school supply mixed with my business supplies, and we always save a bunch. So this is a good tool for you to have. And then finally, our frequent attendee card. Every time you attend an in-person meeting or online, you're gonna get a stamp physically or virtually. And once you attend 10 events, you get to choose between 3-month extension, entry to a Saturday class, or a $50 gift card. So if today you have reached your 10th meeting, email me, just take a quick photo of your frequent attendee card, and we'll make that happen. So by now, it'll be a very easy answer, yes or no. You want to join the Traction family, go to our website, tractionreia.com, click on join and select the level. If it's only just you, if you and your wife, or if you have a business, then you have to do the business membership. We have in-person and online events throughout the year. The next one online is next Tuesday. It's about 1031 exchange. What is it? How do I use it? What is the process? How much is it? Like all those fantastic and valuable information. That's what Dave is going to do for us next Tuesday. All the info on tractionreia.com. and it's also in the newsletter. So that's next Tuesday. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday as well. Let's see, mouse click. The next in person, I'll be there. I'll be able to hug you if you want hugs or shake a hand or wave. At the Caboose in Fairfax, you're gonna have beer and hang out with amazing people. That's September 19th. We have a blast in those beer and real estate events. Really, really cool. So if you're in the DC area, join us September 19th. And if you are in the Florida area, I was able to book an insurance consumer advocate. She has all the details about insurance in Florida. Yes, it's a challenge, but like every challenge, we just find out the information and find out solutions. So that's exactly what I did. I was able to book Tasha, and she's going to speak to us in Sarasota October 8th. It's going to be a luncheon. So if you guys are in Florida, if you want to come into Florida and get a nice deduction as an expense, then come and see me October 8th here in Sarasota. Let's see, what else do I have? Okay, Legal Shield is another really cool technique that I just realized a few months ago that I should be sharing with my Traction family. I've been using it for a long time. It's just a legal service provider that will save you tons of money on things that all investors have, right? We have questions on contracts, on this. Oh, am I gonna get sued? This and that. We always need that legal portion. This is separate, like from your main CPA, your main attorney, but this is a fantastic tool that will help you. You can set up your will, your medical power of attorney. They can fight traffic violations for you. And just like that, Tom, Legal Shield has saved me a lot of money on fighting speeding tickets for Tom. They give you unlimited time in terms of if you have a question about a contract, if you have a question about anything, you can always reach out to them. And each region has their own. Their plans are really good. They're very affordable. They also can represent you for an audit at the IRS. If you were driving through Alabama and then you got a speeding ticket, that's exactly what happened with Tom. They will go and fight with you. I don't have to go to Alabama. They also give you trial hours at a discount. They can create and update your will, and I do that several times. Like every 5 years, we update our will, and that's not extra. Moving violation, like I mentioned, and that can cover you, your spouse, and your kids. And there's no commitment. You just do it month to month. It's only $30 a month if you do the basic individual package. You also get to add a home business writer. That's us. We're small business owners. They can review documents. They can send you letters, collection letters, phone consultations, and that's $15 a month. If you want identity theft protection, then this is a good one. This is what I use. And again, I have used all of this for the past, even before Tommy was born, so over 15 years. So this is the pricing is really good. You can log in to our website and it'll take you and explain every plan in detail. TractionREIA.com/legal shield. Okay, Claude, this is your time. And I'm gonna go to my other screen and make sure that I have. Okay, people give me about 30 seconds. I'm gonna share the sponsor information that I promised, and then we're gonna bring Claude and he can do his market update. Okay, that's Charlie's information. This is Deal Machine. Bear with me, I'm trying to be as fast as I can. Then Specialized, send in Specialized information. Alfred, David. Okay. Ugh, man, Zoom. Okay, and if you're just joining us now, I'm gonna share the newsletter, and that has all the information that I just mentioned. Okay, now we're gonna go to Claude's presentation, and then we're gonna make Claude add a spotlight, and we're gonna share my screen, and here you go. Share.
Just
Okay,
like that.
Claude. Does it look good?
We're good.
Okay.
So for people who joined and didn't hear the introduction, this is DC specific. And no,
That's not it. It
no,
went back too fast. There you go.
that was last month. No, that's the wrong presentation.
This is not it?
No.
Oh, hold on. Stop sharing. Okay. I just clicked on the one that you just sent me, Claude.
I gotta make sure I gotta make sure I sent to the right one, but that's not it. That's for sure not it. This hasn't happened for a long time, huh?
Good. People, you can have a drink and then come back.
Yeah, no, I sent you July and this is August.
Oh, so it
It's
wasn't.
me. It's
It's
not
me.
it's not user error on your part, it's user error on my part.
That's a great breakup. Right. When somebody's breaking up with you, like, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah,
Okay, so you just email it to me?
I will do that. I'm not sure if you want to go how you want to play it, but yeah.
Yep, if I just click on the link, I should be able to share it real quick. So no worries.
Okay.
In the meantime, you can go have a drink, people. Just give us 30 seconds and then we'll be back in business. You can put, let's see. If I don't get it, then you can put it on the chat in Zoom and I can probably grab it from there too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, send me a private chat and then I'll grab it there. There you go.
Well, let's not say that before you get to test it.
Okay, same loading. Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. Let's go back to Zoom and share my screen. Yes.
That's still the same one, isn't it?
Yeah. This is not it?
No, this is it. This is perfect. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Awesome.
Cool.
Okay, they're all yours, Claude.
Okay, let me make sure I got it right here. So as I was saying, this is for the DC area. And I did this on a zip code basis, but if you're looking at a particular place, we're going to want to look at maybe the neighborhood, maybe not the zip code, like based on what you're trying to get done. If you're trying to figure out where do I want to target my leads, you might want to do a zip code or a town. If you're trying to figure out, do I like this house, might go down to a zip code. So I looked at the data based on zip codes, but that's not necessarily what you should be doing. And I looked at a couple of pieces of data, which your realtor can run. And if you yourself are a realtor, you're probably doing these yourself. And this is trying to tell me what the near-term action will be on what we're looking at, what properties what we're looking at, what neighborhood we're looking at. If you go to the next Zoom, to the next slide, please. And so I looked at, I'm going to look at one neighborhood, which is North Bethesda, specifically North Bethesda, because in the last couple of weeks, Montgomery County and WMATA, which is the metro, have announced this huge plan to invest millions of dollars at North Bethesda Metro for the medical health industry sciences, because evidently this part of the country is one of the hubs for medical research, and Maryland is trying to get more of that business, if you will. And they do that because the North Bethesda area is actually fairly underdeveloped. It's close to Pike and Rose, which you may know, but there's a lot of land there that still can be used, and WMATA has some of that and wants to cash out on that. So what we're going to look at is we're looking at homes in the zip code for the last 2 years. We're only looking at inventory, how many homes are on the market. And all things being equal, the more homes you have on the market, the higher listings, then the less the less the pressures for pricing. So of course, if you've got 6 homes on the market on the street rather than 1 home, then you're going to have buyers who are in control. But if you have 1 home and you have 6 buyers, then all of a sudden the seller's in control and the prices go up. So here we see, and I went back for 2 years. I want to show you the seasonal variation, right? And so you can see how in December, January, February 2022, early 2023, usually in the winter, things slow down. We started in the fall, and when there's usually more activity. As we go to 2023, the spring market wasn't as robust in 2023 as it is in 2024. So there's more homes on the market now than there was a year ago. I think part of that is still that people were still getting used to higher mortgage rates a year ago than they are now. Now they're very comfortable. I think a year ago, not as much, or 18 months ago, not as much. And so just looking at this one variable, you would expect prices to be fairly consistent and stable in North Bethesda. Next slide, please. So same data. Let's look at it from a different way. This would be average days on market. How long is the home on the market? And so you don't need to be any type of realtor or data geek to realize that the longer the home is on the market, the more flexible the pricing is and the less demand there is. And so the higher the number, then the less demand. And so we see in the fall of 2022, homes were on the market for well over 20 days and close to 40 days at times, right? That went through the fall, went through the winter, and even to the spring, which is fairly unusual for the DC market. By late spring and early summer, we were coming down to still, mid-teen days, which is better, but not quite as harmful as before. As we went through the past winter, December, January, February again, we had much higher days on market. Again, it comes down to there's snows, that weekend when someone's looking is when there's a snowstorm, or there's just people aren't as incentivized because they've got plenty of time for schools. There's not a big rush. But as we get to the middle of the summer this year, we can see that there's a perception that there's more demand, and you would therefore expect higher prices because there's fewer days on market, and sellers can actually sell their homes usually within the first week and get above asking. Next slide, please. This one here, the pink line is 100%, because it may not be clear in all the cases. And so this is the sold price compared to the original asking price. And so if we go back to August 2022, homes were selling at about 99% of asking price. And this, because it's original list price, that means that if the house was on the market for $550 and then they dropped it to $500 and sold for $520, well, you still did not sell 100% of your asking price originally. And so we take into consideration the true original asking price. And, not a surprise here, right? But 2022 was not great for the zip code. And so things were not selling at asking price. Even this past winter, things were not selling at asking price. Last summer, we got better, but in the last 3 or 4 months, buyers are paying more than asking price consistently. And so you would expect, looking at this, you would expect prices will continue to start going up now because sellers are thinking, you know what, there's more demand. I can start pushing my price up. Next slide, please. And then what I just said was, if there is consistently higher above asking price payments, then you're going to see the price start moving up. And so we do see in the last 2-3 months, prices are stable. I'd love to see the next month. So I'll have that in a few weeks, right? But I would expect that June was a good month. I'm surprised July didn't come in quite so high. I would expect August to be back up over 700,000 again because of the demand in the zip code. But looking back over the last 2 years, right, you can see that prices 2 years ago in the late summer, early fall were in the mid sixes, and we were in the sevens for last summer. I'd expect you'll be in the sevens. I don't think we're going back to mid sixes for some time. And I believe that would be the last slide for the zip code. Next slide, please. So then I want to I'm doing 2 or 3 zip codes in Maryland, DC, Virginia, because just because you see something in one part of town does not make it true in the rest of the town. Just because you see something in DC doesn't make it true in Milwaukee. So we're gonna start with DC. You saw how in North Bethesda, it was all over the place, but a couple times we were well above our 100% mark, asking to sold price. Here in Brightwood, which is North Capitol and slightly northwest, you can see in the last 2 years, rarely do we get an average of 100% asking price to sold price. So that should tell you that if you're looking to do a flip in this part of town, which a lot of people are, be cautious with your pricing because you're not necessarily going to get what you hope to get consistently. Next slide, please, which I think is also DC. This is 20019. This is Northeast DC, across here, Deanwood. A lot of renovations, a lot of flips in this part of town. But look at this. You make sure you've got a lot of wiggle room because between what you expect to price at and what you're going to get at the final number. I'm surprised that I would expect to see this even out because after 2 years, clearly sellers should understand they're overpricing their homes. And it doesn't matter what your asking price is, what you care about is what your sold price is. And so they're not helping themselves here. Next slide, please. Then let's go to Maryland. This is Upper Marlboro. This is north of Route 50, 20774. And here you're seeing a good, healthy market where it's not going up crazy. But look, if you're a flipper, this gives you the certainty of knowing that, you know what, the price 3 months ago and the price 3 months in the future are probably going to be pretty much more or less the same. So because of that, I would like this neighborhood because it's fairly consistent. Next slide, please, which I think is Fort Washington. Fort Washington is kind of all over. Be careful. There were teams, in 2023, 2022, there was you weren't getting the prices you want. Lately, you've gotten better, but I would be cautious. I don't want to go back to a year and a half ago here in Fort Washington. So it's a great market. Lots of people from Virginia are in Fort Washington. Just don't overprice. Next slide, please. We're going to Vienna. Lots of flippers here, lots of construction here. And Vienna is sort of the reverse of Brightwood, right? Where you pretty much consistently get more than asking. And so if you can find a home to flip in Vienna, you want that because you can see the demand is very, very strong here. There are a month or two in the winter when it's not so great. Try not to price for your December sale if you can, right? Next slide. This is Herndon, further out in Fairfax County. This is, there's a lot of business, a lot of growth going out here. And Metro's opened a couple of years ago, yes, now here, right? But there's a lot of demand out here, more so than people in DC would think. And so this, if you're a flipper, right, this is a good, strong sign that you might want to be looking at Herndon. Next slide. Family, one or two more. This is Manassas, a lot of work going on. And when I speak of flippers, I also, of course, speak to the wholesalers because understand this is where your flipper want to be. The flipper wants to be in a community like Manassas where they consistently get above asking price. That tells you they're not going to be on the market too long, and they're going to get their buyers. I really like this as well because again, it's consistent, predictable. So yeah, go to Manassas if you can. I think you've got one more, if I'm not mistaken, Carolina. Woodbridge. This is the Dale City part of Woodbridge. Again, a lot of demand, a lot of consistent, healthy growth. I want to make sure that what I'm projecting is what I get. And in the last year and a half here, that's been happening. So if I'm a flipper or a seller, I really like these types of numbers. I think that should be the last one. You just have a conclusion slide. If there's a neighborhood you want to look at, or you want me to do the charts for it, I'll just send me an email. I'll get that to you. If there's a particular home you're looking at, we can look at it in some other ways, which maybe not zip code specific, just to help you out. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Claude, so much. Thank you, thank you. And we'll be posting Claude's presentation on our website very soon. Okay, my friends, are you guys ready to get the party started? Before I introduce my fantastic speaker, several of you have just joined, so I just want to say hi. This is the first time that you're meeting me. I'm Carolina Zeeb, Tom's wife, and also Vice President of Traction. I've been investing in real estate since 2003. I moved to the States in 2001. I was able to quit my job 2 years after I started real estate. I love wholesaling. I love renovation. I've done subject twos, rentals. I've done pretty much everything, but my favorite part is still to talk to the sellers and put the deals together. So I'm telling you who I am because as your real estate business starts and then grows, sometimes we are so into a renovation or a rental or something in our marketing that we sometimes forget to say, wait a minute, can I take a quick picture of my finances? Can I take a picture of my business and kind of step out and say, hey, I'm doing good here, I do bad here, I'm spending too much here. How is my flow on my assets? How is my money? So that's why we wanted to bring someone a bit out of the box from the normal topics, right? Today we're not gonna teach you how to do renovation and wholesaling. We're gonna teach you how to see your business maybe different. So I am really, really happy to bring our next guest that I'm meeting today for the first time. Hi, David.
Hey, Carolina. It's good to meet you officially. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing very well.
I've heard so much about you. I've read all your articles. I've read all your stuff. We have a lot of friends in common, and I feel like I know you. But I'm really, really happy to have you here. And the concept of the fractional CFO it's fairly new to me personally, but it has made a big impact. So we are very excited that you share that with us, and also you're real estate investors, so you understand where we're all coming from. The Traction family, we have people that have invested for a long time, people that are maybe just starting, and then everybody else in the middle. So we are very, very happy to have you here. I'll be right here next to you, but everybody, please welcome David. And
Hey, everyone. Oh, good. Well, thank you. Well, I wanted to ask before I get started, has anyone read the book either Profit First or Profit First for Real Estate Investing? So Profit First by Mike Michalowicz, or I wrote the book Profit First for Real Estate Investing. You see it right here behind me. Has anyone read that? Yes, no, in the chat? I'm just wondering, trying to get a feel to see if anyone's read that book before, if it's open to, if the chat's open to everyone. So if you haven't, then haven't read it. Thank you. I just want to, at least I know the chat's working now. So I appreciate that very much. So that's where I wanted to just see if you have never heard of that. What I want to teach you tonight is how many of you, okay, let me ask this. How many of you are actively doing deals? You've either done one deal in your lifetime or above. Have you done one deal in your lifetime? Just put yes or put no. Yes or no. Yes, I've done a deal, or I've done 1,000 deals, anywhere from 1 to 1,000. Just kidding. If you've done more than that, put yes. If you have not, put no. Oh yeah, okay. For those of all of you saying yes, what I want you to do tonight is from every single deal you do going forward, you do one more deal, I want you to put more money in your pocket starting at your next deal. Everyone else out there, like you put it so succinctly at the beginning, Carolina, you said everyone's out there teaching, like this is not our typical speaker, because most speakers come in and say, this is a new way to do it, or this is a different way, or this is how you do this exit strategy. And all that is great. You need that. I am not belittling that at all. But there's two different skills you have to learn as an entrepreneur. Make money and keep money. Lots of people teach on this side over here, the making the money. Not a lot of people teach the, how as an entrepreneur do I keep it? And I'm not going to give you anything boring. We're not going to talk about QuickBooks tonight. We're not going to talk about a balance sheet, a profit and loss, I want to teach you about keeping more cash in your pocket. So if you're out there and you said, no, you haven't done a deal. If you have, Bob, over 70 deals, that's awesome. however many deals you've done, like I said, I want you to put more. If you haven't, and you came on Traction tonight, and you were like, what's this all about? How can I learn? I promise you, if you stay around people like this, you will do deals and you will make money. I don't know of a better place. I got started in the real estate world. I know, okay, let's be honest here. I look like the accounting bookkeeper. Let's just get it out there on the plate right now, but I'm not. My background is real estate investing. And I understand that a lot of people, you know, even if you're just getting into real estate investing, your network is so important. I'm so glad that if this is your first night here, or if you've been here a long time, that you've chosen to get around a good group of people, because that will help you get that, either that first deal or you keep the connections going. So I love that, because you're learning the make money skill and you're having that network expand. And if you've ever heard that statement, it's almost cliche now, but it's cliche because it's true. Your network is your net worth. So you're getting around the right people and you're going to expand your net worth if you get around people that think like this. And just like that man, he was going through the different, like, where's the market right now? Sorry, I didn't catch your Dave right before I was on, but it's like, that's where you're going to get that type of stuff. And I'll tell you, I've been in masterminds where there's, you know, the big real estate rock stars out there, maybe people you see on Facebook Guru Land, but honestly, I love REIAs. This is like the local, your market, what's going on right now. They give you the real data of like what is going on so you can have the best option and opportunity. So I love that. Yeah, I'm very passionate about what I talk about. I'm very passionate about real estate. I'm going to get into this. I promise. I've got a presentation. We'll go over that. I want to just give you just a very, very brief background of who I am and why you would even want to listen to this nerdy guy up there talking about the finances. I promise I will not be boring tonight. This will be something that I want you to take away and put more money in your pocket. My background, I started in 2012 in the real estate investing world. I was part of a company back then where we were doing about 25 deals a month that we grew that company to. And it was wholesale, flipping, rentals, turnkeys, lease options, like anything you could think of on the residential side. As you were going through your list, Caroline, I'm like, I've done all that. I've been there, done that, seen it. Been a part of about 850 deals up to this point in my real estate career. So I've seen a lot of stuff. And I've seen how to do it and how not to do it. Ask me about some of the biggest losers there and some of the biggest winners, and I'll have stories on both sides of the fence. But I also got to a very unique perspective into the real estate world. I got to sit in a lot of different seats: marketing, sales, acquisitions, you know, transaction coordination, the finance seat, because at that company it was growing and we were growing together. That company was where I got introduced to networks like this. I went to a REIA, and that's where we started to go. We started at 5 deals a month and grew to 25 deals a month. And it was because of networks like this in our local area. We were rubbing shoulders with the contractors, with the people, you know, like, and knowing what's going on to make sure that we were on the right track, you know, at least of what we could be doing and getting around those right people. I was also going to mastermind events too, and that opened my mind to your network and net worth thing. Okay, we were doing 25 deals a month. Here's the not so fun part about this story, but I have to tell it. We were doing 25 deals a month, but spending 26 worth of deals out the door. Okay, that sucks. Okay, there's no other way to put it. Like, we had grown this company. We had put our blood, sweat, tears into it. We were growing rapidly. We were doing more deals. And we were basically burying ourselves. We were scaling ourselves into oblivion. That, I wish I had a good ending to that story too. Yeah, yikes. Thank God. You know, get a testimony here. It's like, that's where it was rough. Okay, and that was years and years ago. That was about 2017 and 18 when the company blew apart. Okay, people had to go their separate ways. I moved to the Richmond, Virginia area. I was outside of Chicago. That's where we were doing all those deals. I wish I had a great ending to that story. I don't. That's where it's like, oh man, I wish I had back then what I know now. And I wish we would have had it from deal number one. Because what I want to give you tonight are good habits with the money that you make from the deals that you do. And I wish I would have had that from deal one, because as we grew from like a few deals a month to like 25 deals a month, this would have saved our skins back then. This is why I'm so passionate about this, because out of all the people here, I don't know if there was one single person that said that they had read that book. And that's a little bit why I'm a little bit more excited now tonight too, because like, if I can open your mind to this concept, like I'm I want to be so bold as to say, like, I can help you get to whatever financial freedom really means to you. A lot of people say that, but I think that if you have the make money skill, I want to teach you a little bit of, okay, how do I actually transfer that into the dollars of what I want from what I'm doing? So many people never do that. That's what I want to give you tonight. So yes, I am the prophet of this book, Profit First for Real Estate Investing, to tell your money where to go. And a very simple system as an entrepreneur. Like I said, my background's not real estate and accounting, or not real estate, it's accounting. I am not an accounting background, it's real estate. And I will tell you though, when I read the original Profit First by Mike Michalowicz, it struck a bell in my entrepreneur heart to say, okay, where has this been my whole life? This was such a simple concept of, even at one deal, I could have done this. Or when we were running at 300 deals a year, like we could have done this simple thing to make our lives better and to put more money in our pocket. That's why I'm so passionate about this, because no matter where you are on your journey, I can either give you your first step and make you profitable from that very first deal, or if you've done 70 like Bob, like from your 70th deal, how do I make 71 better? How do I get more profit from that? So that's what I'm doing here tonight. I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get into it. Here we go. I titled this, Get the Worst Part of Business Off Your Plate. Because let's be honest, the financial part is not the sexiest topic. Even when you mentioned that at the beginning, Carolina, like, I'm different. This is a different type of speaker. You know, it's like, this is different than what I normally bring in. I promise this will not be boring. Even though we're going to talk about the money, we're going to talk about the finances, I promise that this is going to be, how do we get this to not be a burden to you? Or in your mind thinking, yeah, I'm just going to run it. I'm going to build a business, and as long as there's money, I'll be fine. I want to help you. I want to help you get away from that mindset and to get some of this stuff in place that is actionable from tonight. And if you need help, I also, at the end, there's going to be nothing. I'm not going to sell you anything at the end. Here's what I'm going to give you at the end. So if you want to stay around, or if you want to log back in at the end to get that thing, here's what it is. It's a cheat sheet for what I'm going over, the Profit First cheat sheet. I'm going to give you a copy of my book because no one is teaching this, so you need it. And like, I don't want to even put a pay barrier there for my book. And then another thing I want to also give you is, if you need help, I have a team. She talked about this, the fractional CFO. I'll explain what that is at the end. If you want to book a call with our team, great. If we can help you, I would love to, but I just have to get this information to you. So that's where I want to just tell you right up front, that's exactly what's coming at the end. So you don't have to be wondering, what the heck is he going to do and offer me? That's exactly what I'm offering you right there. Okay. So if we're good, I want to just you to be able to focus on the next probably 30 to 40 minutes. It's not a super long presentation, but I usually get questions at the end of like when I go through this. So I want to save some time for that, but I want to help you. I do. I wish I would have had this in that company where we were doing all the deals. So I want to help you wherever you are on your journey. So many people said you're doing deals. If you're doing deals, let this be the love letter back to the real estate investing world, because so many people have poured into me over all these years. And like, let me just pour into you a little bit of what's been poured into me. So that way you can be profitable. So that way you can go out there and build a business that you're proud of and that you get freaking money in your pocket from. So that's what I want to help you with. Here we go. Let's dive right into it. How do we get the worst part of business off our plate? Number one here. No, I'm just kidding. We put everything in a shoebox. This is most people's finances. Let's be honest, right? The shoebox full of receipts. Like you put you say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get all this to my accountant at the end of the year. They'll take care of everything. And guess what? Boom, shoebox full of receipts. And there you go. You've got the shoebox full. And then you just say, I'm going to go and do deals. That's all I care about. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything with the finances. And this is what we end up with. And then we never know if we're on the right or wrong track. And if that's you tonight, I'm going to tell you, even if you keep doing this, I want you to know where your cash is going. So I'm not even going to tell you something magical about QuickBooks or anything like that. I'm just going to help you know where your cash is going, because that's what you really care about too. At the end of the day, where's my cash going? So I know if I can buy more deals, or what profit am I really making from these deals? How much do I have to reinvest, and how much can I take home? How much can I make from this to feed my family? That's what I want to help you with tonight, but I don't want you to end up here like everyone else, because if you start getting your cash in order, a lot of this other stuff starts to work itself out too. That's what I want to help you with. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Tale of two investors. We've got Joey English and his family. Ashley is his wife on the left-hand side. We'll call the guy on the right Bob. Can't give you his name because I don't want to. You'll see why at the end, and you'll know very well. And he's out there. He's a speaker too. He goes a lot of different places, and he told I could tell this story just as long as I don't give his name. So I met Bob, the guy on the right, a few years ago, 2 years ago it was, at a mastermind event. So there's another notch in your belt for getting around the right people, or like you are tonight. I met him at a mastermind, and he told me, hey, I'm having a little bit of issues with my cash. You know, I don't know. I'm riding the cash flow roller coaster. Money's up and down. I give the shoebox full of receipts, like everything that you're talking about. Raise my hand. I fit that bill. So I'm like, here, take my book. Do something with this, please. You don't need to stay there. So he went on his merry way. Joey, the beginning of his story, was a little bit like Bob. I met him at a mastermind as well. Only this was a mastermind where you got up in front of everyone and you told your wins and your challenges, like in your business. And he got up and he started actually in front of this group of about 40 other people in person, was crying. Joey was starting to cry because he said, I just had the toughest year in my business. You know, I was doing 80, 90, 100-hour weeks. You know, I was just out there busting my butt, and I don't feel like I have anything to show for it. So someone connected us there at that mastermind because they knew about Profit First, and I help people with the money side and like giving them, you know, knowing where the money's going. And we got together and on a Zoom call, just like we're on this together, and he told me the rest of the story. He said, David, here's the bottom line. I went into my CPA's office at the end of last year. She said, looking at your books, I would never get into real estate, like looking at your numbers. And he's like, felt like a gut punch. And he said, okay, how bad is it? And she told him, you lost $70,000 this year. So it would have been better for you to work at McDonald's. You know, that was his CPA. He felt about that big walking out her door, you know, underneath her door. Back home, he's like, I had to tell Ashley. And it was really hard to tell her, my wife, because that year she started working as our transaction coordinator, helping me to close the deals. I was working all those hours and like we were busting our butt to get these deals in the door and to get them closed. And we have nothing to show for it at the end of the year. And then he said something that now that I've told you my story, you'll see that it resonated with me and like rang my internal bell. He said, David, we did more deals this year than we've ever done this last year, but we lost more money than we've ever lost. And I was like, oh, what? Like, oh man, like he resonated so much with my story of we were doing all those deals and then nothing to show for it. And I tell people this at the beginning all the time, like if you're at that one deal or at 10 deals, wherever you are, if you've ever felt like Joey or you feel like him right now, I want to give you some hope in this presentation that you can get out of it. If you're here and you're new and you said, no, I haven't done a deal, I do not tell this to scare you. I tell you this to be able to say, if you listen to me tonight, you can avoid this feeling, this where Joey was and where I was. That's why I think it's so important and why I'm so passionate about this message. I either want to give you hope that you can get out of it if you're in the thick of it, or if you've never been there and you're on this road and just getting started, how do we avoid this? Here's the pain we all secretly feel. You know what happened when I started going to masterminds with that other big group that I was part of, that other big real estate company? We would start to talk, you know, like in front of everyone. Yeah, we're doing 25 deals a month. But then later, right, at the bar, like everyone's just, it's free flowing and it's being a little bit more truthful. And then it's like, yeah, but we don't know where our cash is going and we don't know where all the deals and all that stuff. And like, we're spending too much. And every single person there was like, we're going through the exact same stuff. Or yes, we've gone through that before. A lot of entrepreneurs make money but feel broke. That's the sad truth. And that's where, if you're feeling like that, you're not alone there. A lot of people feel like they're an island, like I'm a business owner, I should know what I'm doing here. But I don't want you to live here. Where it's like, I'm making money, but where is it going? That's where a lot of people end up if you don't have what I'm teaching tonight. The root problem that I think that will help us to attack this is the thought process of, if I just do another deal, more deals or more income solve all my problems. I believe that's a half truth. The full truth is, if I'm going to make the money, I need to keep it. Just because I do more does not mean I put more in my pocket, as I can attest to with that company back in the day, or with like Joey doing more deals than he's ever done and not seeing the fruits of his labor. More doesn't always solve it. I don't know if anyone's read a book by Keith Cunningham. He wrote a great book called The Road Less Stupid. I highly recommend it. In there, he puts it in this way. He says, if you scale cancer, the tumor grows. Like, that's where I don't want you to put or jet fuel in a plane that's going down. You're just going to get there faster. You know, it's like a lot of people just don't know what's going on, or like they're just piling it on and doing more deals and going and talking to more sellers and getting more contracts locked up. It's like, whoa, do you know that at the end of the day, this is really going to get you to where you want to be? I don't want you to stay stuck, because if you do stay stuck, I don't know if you've ever played this game as part of this group, because this is such a great tool, great teaching tool. Cashflow 101, that's the game board in the background of Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad Poor Dad fame. He created this board game. And if you stay stuck with that root issue of like, just more deals will solve the problem, or I make money but feel broke and I don't know how to get out of it, those current habits with the dollars will keep you in the real estate rat race. And what is that? Picture this game board. There's two parts to this game. If you can see in the middle, there's a little wheel. That's called the rat race in the game. And you're literally trying to land on the green spaces that say big and small deals that help you to get to the fun track eventually. When your passive income exceeds your expenses, you get to go from the rat race to the fun track, which is like financial freedom. Like if you wanted to equate it to the real world here, that's where you're trying to get out of the rat race and go to the fun track. And a lot of people jump into real estate and they think that it's the fastest path to the fun track. But if you don't have what I'm teaching tonight, a lot of people never see the fun track or financial freedom, because they can do deals. They're really good at doing deals. That is your superpower, is getting deals in the door and making money. But I want to teach you, if you're going to do all that work and bust your butt to get deals in the door, how do I actually cross over to the fun track? How do I attain financial freedom with the money from the deals that I'm doing? Does this resonate with anyone? Like, I want to make sure that you can get out of that rat race, because I don't want you trading a W-2 job, paycheck to paycheck living, for deal to deal living. That is a not fun place to be. Can I also give you one more cheat code here? Like one more secret, like that a lot of people never, I don't know, no one ever teaches this. If you're here tonight, you've chosen real estate, either as the course you're pursuing, if you've never done a deal, or if you've already done a deal, it is a part of who you are and like what you want to do in order to make money. A lot of people think that if you get into real estate, you're playing the real estate game, whether it's the wholesaling game, the fix and flip game, the rental and the long-term, short-term, mid-term game, whatever. I will tell you right now, real estate is not the game you're playing. The game you're playing is the game of money. You just have chosen real estate as the best vehicle for you to get money. What I want to teach you tonight is, number one, are you playing your own game? Number two, how to set that game up so you win consistently with the money that flows into your bank account. And then number three, how to make sure that it's on autopilot so you're not thinking about the money a lot. That's what I want to give you and impart to you tonight. So if you stick around, that's what I can promise you, is that from this presentation, I want you to put more money in your pocket without thinking about the money a whole lot more. Because this is, like I said, your superpower is getting the deals, being the business owner. You, even if you have a background in the numbers, if you're a business owner, that is not your superpower. You need to grow the business. You need to be doing deals. You need to be hiring people, and you need to do or whatever it is that you love to do, talking with the sellers on the phone or going out to the appointments. That is your superpower. I do not want you to have to land always because the numbers and the finances and the money are getting in your way. If I can remove that barrier, you can fly faster, farther, and longer to be able to grow the business how you want to grow it. This is what I wish I would have had back then, because even though we went fast, we didn't get very far. Like, we grew, but we really didn't go out there and soar through the sky. It was almost like, here, we went up and we went down. I don't want that for you. I want you to stay like this and keep going up and up and up, and then just stay out there with your superpower, what you were born to do. Because let's be honest, as Americans here, we are the backbone of the economy. The small business, especially the real estate sector here, we are literally helping on the Main Street USA on so many different sides. I want you to be able to keep helping in that manner and being that superhero. So here's point number 1. Find what you need to keep. And I will explain this, or I like to say, play your own game. Find what you need to keep. What do I mean by that? Let me ask you a question first. Why did you start your business, or why did you start real estate investing, or why are you here tonight? And don't just say financial freedom, okay? That's a cop-out answer. And you can either write this down next to you if anyone is bold enough to put it in the comments of why they started it. I've heard lots of different answers. It's, time with family. What does time with family mean? Does that mean taking 2 to 3 months off every year? Does it mean traveling the world? Does it mean you want to give towards charities? What's your why? Why did you start this? Why are you here today? What is it? It is Thursday, August 15th at 7:37 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why are you here tonight instead of watching TV in the other room, or reading a book, or doing something different? You're different here. You are different. You want to be different. You are pouring into yourself right now. Why are you here tonight? Why did you start your business? I need you to write down an answer somewhere. If you're not going to put it in the comments, that's totally fine. But I need you to think, why did I start my business? What was that for? If you want to write a quick answer and then think about it a little bit more afterwards, be my guest. But this is why I asked this question, because your keep number is 2 sub numbers. What I need and want from the business. I define the keep number as, what do I want to keep, in the bucket of, I need this in order to put this food on the table, to clothe myself, to clothe my family, to clothe my children, or like to take care of the people in my life. This is what I need from the business that I need to pay myself on a monthly basis to take care of my personal expenses. That's the need number. The want number is, why did I start my business? And I want some money there to fuel that why, to fuel that passion. So I want you to be able to keep some money that is designated for what you need in order to survive, and then what you want in order to thrive, and in order to have a business that gets you to where you want to be. That's what I want for you. That's where I want to make sure you, as a business owner, you know where you stand. What are those numbers for you? Is it 5K a month for need and 20K a month for want? Whatever that is, I want to help you with that. As part of that cheat sheet at the end, I give you a walkthrough to find your keep number. It's 1 page. It is really simple. Most people have never done this exercise though. And here's the importance of it. Why am I so passionate on this point number 1? Let me tell you a quick story with my daughter. That's my daughter there, Eleanor. Love her to death. If you've never read the book, Crucial Conversations, great book, highly recommend it. This is where I get this story. This story changed my life. Chapter 10, it's called Retaking Your Pen. And the authors there say that, I don't know if you can see me on your screen, but I've got a pen in my hand. They say, metaphorically speaking, we're all born with our pen in our hands, and that represents our self-worth. As we're very tiny human beings, we write our own story. We don't give a rat's behind what anyone thinks, right? You get a little bit older and you start going to school, 5, 6 years old, and like, now you care a whole lot, right? What are they thinking? What are they doing? How do I fit in? You get a little bit older, junior high, high school, it gets even worse. You get to be an adult, pretty dang hard too. With my daughter, there was a dress up day. I live down here in Florida, in Central Florida, and it was a dress up day. It was Tacky Tourist Day, of course, right here in Florida. So Monday was Tacky Tourist Day. Sunday night, Eleanor, my daughter, gets all of her clothes down. She's got a little purse. She's got a little fanny pack that we found. She got a little hat on. She got a little camera. Monday morning, she's super excited, right? She gets in the car, has full attire on for Tacky Tourist Day. She is just chatting me up the whole ride, chat, the whole entire time. She's super excited. She gets 5 minutes away from school, though. It gets real quiet. I'm like, Eleanor, what's going on, girl? And she's like, Dad, do you think it's tacky tourist day? Should I take my hat off? Should I not wear the purse? Should I not wear the fanny pack? I'm like, take the fanny pack off, leave everything. I'm just kidding. I said, yes, wear everything into school. It's going to be great. You're going to look beautiful. I've been there, the dress up party where it's not really dress up. It's like, even it'll be a great talking point. She went in, she had a great day. It was the dress up day. But I'm like, I knew on the drive back home, like that was her giving up her little 6-year-old pen, to other snotty-nosed little 6-year-olds, writing her story, dictating what she's going to wear. Now, that's a really simple illustration, but come on, okay, Joey. Joey was going to events and other places, and he felt pressure to grow. We felt pressure to grow as a company. We were hiring so many people and doing all the things and all the marketing going out the door. We felt like we had to get to 25 deals a month because other people were, and that's what we thought we should do. We should just do what they were doing. I don't want you to build your business around what someone else is telling you. This is why it's so important to get the need and want number. You know why? I want you to build your business and take back your freaking pen, hold it in your hand and say, no one's going to tell me what I need to do or how many deals I need to do from my business. I'm going to see how many deals do I need to do to get to my need and want number. Boy, I wish I would have done that back then and taken that stand. Joey, wish you would have done that from deal number 1. Like, that's where so many people get caught up in that real estate rat race. And they're just spinning the wheels and going faster and faster and faster, and boom, burnout. That's because they're playing someone else's game. They think they're playing the real estate game and they're playing someone else's instead of actually playing the money game to win. Because what does winning look like for each of us? Whatever us looks like to us. You know what makes you different? I don't care if you're wholesaling, if you're flipping, if you're doing rentals. Like, a lot of people here are probably doing the same thing, maybe even in the same area. You know what makes you different? What makes you different is you, your situation, the family you have or the family you don't have or whatever it might be. That's why you have to play your game. You want to be in control of your life there? I see that come through the chat. If you want to be in control of your life, first we got to know what the heck is going on with our life. What does that equate to? What does taking control mean? Where do we stand right now? What do we need from the business if we're building this thing? And then what do I ultimately want from it? Because I will tell you, I just had a conversation with one of our clients last week. He said, I signed up for this other program with this group, and they're helping me implement some processes and stuff. And they're like, this is how you can get to 2 million and how much you should spend in marketing. And he's like, man, I just feel like I just keep reinvesting all this money back into the business. And I told him, would you rather do $2 million worth of deals, or would you rather do, $2 million worth of deals and keep, 5% of that? So $100,000 a year. Or would you rather do $500,000 in a year and keep 50% of that? So $250,000. He's like, oh yeah, the lesser amount. So I'm like, wait a second. So then, and I said, what do you really want for your business? And he told me peace of mind. And I said, will the 2 million and scaling and growing and keeping less give you that peace of mind, or this? And I'm like, you don't have to take my other option here. Substitute it with whatever you want. $1 million and you keep 25% to 30 to 40% of it, like whatever you think you can do. But don't do it just because someone is telling you this is where you should be. There, I'm going to get off my soapbox. But if I tell you point number 2 and 3, it's like giving you a loaded gun without giving you any firearms training. It's like, I'm giving you this thing, this weapon in your hand, but if I'm not pointing you in the right direction, you might hit someone instead of the target down the range. Like, I want to give you a very clear-cut way now in points number 2 and 3. How do I actually keep what I need and want in my pocket? How do I actually make that reality so I get off the freaking rat race, like that freaking wheel that I feel like I'm stuck on, whether you're in the W-2 world or if you're living deal to deal in the real estate world? That's where with Joey, I'll never forget this. This was years ago when we first started working with him, and he sat down because I gave him all this info here, just like this. And he went back and did the exercise, like the keep number form that I'm going to give you at the end. He did that with his wife, Ashley, came back, and he was already excited. He literally had not done a deal in the new year yet, but he came back inside and he said, I sat down with my wife, Ashley, and we plotted out what do we need and want, and how many deals do we need to do in order to get those numbers. And he said, David, guess how many deals I need to do in order to at least break through to my need number. And I said, I don't know, maybe one deal a month, like you were trying to do, before you started into scale mode. And he said, no. He said, I only need to do 5 deals next year, more like once a quarter. Like I need to do a deal just to break through the need number. And he said, I almost felt instant relief because having the clarity of what I wanted from my business to at least hit the need number first and then have the plan for the want. He said, I don't need to do 80, 90, 100-hour weeks to do 5 deals next year. I don't need to rob from Peter to pay Paul to do that and to cover the marketing and to cover the overhead and the all the different things that going on in his life. He felt instant relief. And that's where I want to give you that, because so many people just have never taken that first step of, what game am I playing? I want to play my own game, and I want to make sure I'm either on the right track or wrong track. How do I know that? Well, you got to set your parameters first. So that's point number 1. Find what you need to keep. Make sure you're playing your own game, and you define what winning looks like to you with the need and want numbers. So that way, you know if you're on the right track and not just like, am I growing or am I not? Because growth does not always equal success, which is what sucks, because that's usually what we equate it to, but it doesn't always equate to that. Better is better. Bigger isn't always better. That's point number 1. Point number 2, create the wealth system. This is where profit first, any other cash flow system, an envelope method, whatever it might be, this is the crux of, as an entrepreneur, I don't already love the finances, right? Like that's what a lot of people say. I don't even like the finances. I'm not sure I could do a lot of this stuff or do these things. This point number 2, if you're an entrepreneur, this is a very simple step to create the wealth system for your business. I want to make sure you as a business owner have a very simple system to get your need and want number from the business. If you want to control your life, or Bob, you've done over 70 deals, if you want that dead-end job and pay the bills and get out of the rat race, like if that's your goal, this is really the system that helps you to accomplish that goal. And like the practical steps, there's going to be some very practical stuff in this one, but this is why I tell you, I need to give you point number 1, because number 1 is all about you and the direction you're pointing. Point number 2, this can apply to any business. So if you have a wholesale company, a fix and flip, a rental, like if you've got something outside of real estate, if you have a bakery, like I don't care what the business is, I'm going to teach you some core principles of money here that can shake you up for the rest of your life, because now you'll be exposed to how can I be profitable and stay profitable as a business owner, no matter what you start in the future as well too. God knows that every entrepreneur out there wants to start multiple businesses. I want to help you. So here we go. Let me start with where most business owners start with managing their money, the black hole account. What is this? Most business owners out there, I know no one here, but most business owners out there have one big bank account where all their money goes in and it gets sucked out into the swirling vortex of doom. Where did my money go? I don't understand where it is. Like the very first client I ever worked with, he was like, I have money in the bank, but I don't even know if I can take that money out for myself. It's like, I don't want you to live there. That is a lack of clarity as an entrepreneur. This is how most people manage their money. They open their bank account. Do I have a lot of money? Good, I can spend it. If you don't have a lot of money and you know it, you're not even opening up your banking app. Like that's how most people manage the money. Okay. It's like, I understand that at a core level because I've lived this. I don't want you to stay here. This will keep you in that rat race and keep you in that swirling vortex of doom that I don't want you to stay stuck in, and that lack of clarity of where your money is and what is yours. The answer to it is the modernized envelope system. I am not going to teach you anything that's going to knock your socks off here with this crazy hack and blah, blah, blah. No. What I'm teaching you here is core principle foundation of money. I don't know if you know Dave Ramsey or the personal finance world, whether you love him or hate him, he's made the personal finance and the envelope method on that side very popular. Like you literally put cash in envelopes marked like gas, utilities, rent, all your expenses for the month. You put cash in there, and when it's gone, it's gone. And then you refill it the next month when you get income in or whenever. I want to teach that same concept, but at the business level. Only we're not going to use envelopes. We're going to use business checking accounts, because we're going to name our dollars. We're not going to have one big bank account that's just named OPEX or whatever it might be for you. It's going to be multiple bank accounts split out so we can give every dollar a name that comes through our fingertips. Okay, so that's what I want to give you here is what are those accounts and how do I set this up correctly? Well, let me give you the first 3 accounts that I think every person should have. What you make, spend, and keep. These would be the first 3 to set up. What's coming in would be your make account. So like if you get a wire from the title company and you're like, boom, baby, that deal's done. They wire it to your make account. This is what I made off that deal. Wire it here to my make account now. Spend. You might not even have to set this one up. This might be your black hole account right now. The operating expenses. Anything that goes out the door for expenses is the spend bucket or the spend bank account. Then what you keep, I literally dedicated my whole first point. Number 1, to finding your keep number. Now you have a bank account dedicated to what you need to keep. That's what I want for you. This is the simple foundation. What you make, spend, and keep. I want to also tell you another secret of entrepreneurs and of money. These are the 3 most important numbers to know as a business owner. So I know there's so much data out there of like all this stuff that you could be learning and the balance sheet and the profit and loss and the cash flow statement and like ratios and all this, all the accountanese that everyone out there speaks. That's a CPA or bookkeeper. At the end of the day, though, these are the 3 numbers you need to know. What's coming in, what's going out, how much do I get to put in my pocket? That is what you care about, but that's also the 3 most important numbers, because then if you know which one is hurting, you can attack the right problem. If I asked you, like if I was standing in front of you, I'd ask you, how many identify as a problem solver, right? If you're in the real estate world or an entrepreneur, you probably identify as like, I'm a problem solver. So many of us, though, don't know the right problems to solve in our own business. We are out there just solving, it's like the whack-a-mole game, right? A mole comes up, bam, we hit it. And we keep doing that because we're very reactive versus knowing the issues that are coming down the pipeline and how can we be proactive with our money. This is a great way to know if one of these 3 areas are off is, did I not make enough last month? Well, you know, those closings got pushed back and this is what I can do and what money can we get in right now, or our tenants behind and like, do we need to go and collect the rent, whatever it might be? Or is it a spend issue? Are you spending too much or in the wrong areas that aren't giving you the best return? Or is it a keep issue? Are you not putting what you want in your pocket? Are you feeling the stress, the anxiety of like, I'm not keeping what I want, and that's tainting everything else in your life, let alone your business? If you're not keeping enough, that's very psychological. I want to, since you're here tonight and you gave me your time here, I want to go a little bit deeper on this one and tell you a couple sub accounts that you could open up if you really want to take this to the next level. Okay. Keep accounts. Guess what? Need and want. You could separate your keep accounts into 2 buckets. What do I need? What do I want? That sounds familiar, doesn't it? From point number 1. So now you have literal accounts dedicated to what I need to pay myself on a weekly or monthly basis from the business or what I want. And I would take from the want account on a quarterly basis. On a quarterly basis, I would take out what I want and put it towards why I started it. That's why I was so passionate telling you, you need to write down, why did you start your business? Because now you have an account dedicated to what you want. And then you take the money out on a quarterly basis. But now you can have that there. Here's your spend accounts. If you want to break out spending a little bit more. Taxes. When I say taxes, what do I mean? I mean, like if you're going to be in the active real estate world, like wholesaling or flipping, or something where you sell the property and there's going to be some type of tax event there, taxable event, then have a tax account open. So from every deal you do, you put a little bit in that bucket. And then when it comes time to pay Uncle Sam, you're not sweating bullets. You're like, okay, that money's gone. I don't have to worry about it. Boom, let's keep rolling and doing the deals. It's a peace of mind account. That's what it is. OpEx or operating expenses, all the expenses for the business. You could just clarify it there if you want. Bonus account, boom, for the real estate investing world. And how my book differentiates from the original Profit First is OPM, other people's money. If you're a real estate investor, especially with rentals or fix and flips, and you're taking money from private lenders, I would open up an OPM account for other people's money. So that way you've got the core accounts, the make, spend, keep accounts over here to run the business, and you have OPM to run the projects. And don't mingle that money together. That's what a lot of people do. And then it gets very hairy of like, where's all that money? And like, I just had, $1 million in that one bank account and it's all gone. Well, you spend it on projects and everything else, and like, you don't know what you're spending on. I don't want you mingling OPM, the project money, and the money to run the business. When it closes and it's all cashed out, it goes into the bank account, and then you separate it into the spend and keep buckets. But if the OPM, that's where you have that money from the lenders, and then you run the deals from the OPM bucket to make sure the projects get finished. That way you're also not creating this huge Ponzi scheme. Oh man, all these things I wish I would have had back in the day. I really hope this is hitting and resonating. And if you're like, good God, David, like you just told me to open up all these different bank accounts, this sounds overwhelming. Can I ask you, can you open at least 2, the make and keep account? If you already have the spend account, you're already spending money if you're in the real estate world. If you aren't doing deals right now and you start to open up your LLC for doing deals as you're going to learn from this group and making the money, then open up the make, spend, and keep accounts so that way you can have this system right from deal number 1, and you'll build good money habits from deal number 1. But start small. Start where you can. Start it so you can actually start to see the results right away. That's why I told you, if you're doing 70 deals or 100 deals or 1 deal right now on your next deal, if you just separate out your money, you'll know where it's going and you'll profit more because you will be in control of where that money's going. There we go. Joey always sends me a picture every year now like this, because he was someone at the beginning like, I got to set up all these accounts. And I'm like, yes. And he's like, what will that help with? And I said, just trust me. Do you like where you ended last year? No. Well, then trust me to open up these accounts and see where your money's going. And then he says, I will never go back to one account. The clarity I have and the peace of mind to know if I have money or don't have money where I need it, and to be able to take action is greater than if I was just out there like making a ton of money, but I don't know if it's all mine or not. That's where it's like the peace of mind of having clarity. That's what the system helps with, but this is how to set up the money game. So how do we win? How do we win consistently? We need to build wealth habits into our business. That's point number 3 here, so we can keep more at the end of the day. I want to thank you also before I get into point number 3. I know this is financial stuff, but thanks for sticking with me. I'm trying to pour my heart out here because I know that this just affects so many people on so many different levels. I wish I would have had this. I wish Joey would have had this from deal number 1. I wish Bob would have had this. I wish everyone that walked through our door had this years and years ago. So number 3, this is how you make sure you're not thinking about the money more than like 15 minutes a week. How do we make the system just work for us so it's a system and not something I have to constantly do every day and bog myself down with yet another hat on my head and another thing to do as an entrepreneur? So here we go. Here's what to do on a weekly, monthly, and quarterly basis with your money. Every week, move your money. What do I mean? If you have a deal closed or if you have rent come into that make bucket, move it from make to spend and keep. Move it from what you made to now, okay, here's my percentage for the spend buckets, here's my percentage for the keep buckets, and everyone asks, how much should I put into those buckets? I will give you this as well too. The target allocation percentages, or depending on the size of your business, these are the percentages cash-wise that you should be shooting for as an entrepreneur. Vaughn, thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate that. I do. I pour my life into this. I feel this as a calling because I want to get you this information so you feel empowered as an entrepreneur to be in control of your freaking finances. Here we go. TAPS. So target allocation percentages from $0 if you're making 0. Here's what you make here. From $0 to $10 million. These are the different columns of how much you make. Depending on what you make, these are the ideal percentages to put into those buckets. If you're like, I am nowhere near there, or I'm like, without even digging into where you are right now, I'm nowhere near there. These are targets. This is where now you could have something to shoot for. Because now if you know what you need and want, you know that, okay, if I can put X amount of dollars into this account every month, I'm on the right track. And then if you start to grow and you start to hit these percentages, you can go from one column to the next by reinvesting some of the money into OPEX and into growing the business. But you still want to keep a percentage for what you want and need. But now you're growing intentionally and profitably. You get this though too. So if you're trying to take a picture or whatever, and it comes out blurry because it's on the screen there, I give you an actual printout on that cheat sheet as well too. Then every month, so that was every week, move the money, and then that was a spreadsheet there of how much to move and where, and the ideal percentages. Every month, review it. What do I mean by review it? Here we go. This is the one time a month where I would take those 15 minutes and sit down and say, in my make, spend, and keep bucket, how much came in last month in my make account? How much went out of spend? How much did I keep? So you can at least know those three numbers. Because if you know those three numbers, you have power over those three numbers. And you can change them if you want to. If you're not making enough, well, then guess what? Time to tap into your network. Time to tap into the great people here and be like, okay, you need more leads? There's probably someone in here that either knows a leads provider or is a leads provider. It's like, that's where if I need the help, you lean into your network. But now you're asking the right question. Before, it might have been with the black hole account and one single account. I have no idea. I'm just losing money, but I don't know where the issue is. Now you can pinpoint it better. So that way you can ask a better question to get a better answer and result for your business. Make sense? Third thing, every quarter, take your money. I love this one. You know why? For anyone who wrote down why they started their business, whether it was you wrote it down next to you, you thought it in your mind, or you actually put it in the comments like a couple people or the chat box here, this is the time for this part to shine. Why you started your business every quarter from that keep bucket, specifically if you set up a want account underneath keep, then I would take up to 50% out of that want checking account and spend it on what you want. Go figure, right? Transfer it from your business to a personal account and go out there and do whatever the heck you want. This could be something big or small. It could be a weekend trip, like Joey's first draw was a weekend trip, a 3-day weekend trip with his family. Nothing crazy. He took Friday off and went to a hotel with his family for the weekend. It doesn't have to be crazy the first time, but at least you'll start to grow there. I'll tell you where Joey is now and what he was able to do with this, in the last couple quarters with his money. But start wherever you are. Okay, I was on a call one time and the lady said, I want a new mattress for our bed. I feel like I want one of those really nice ones with all the numbers and the gadgets and the cooling effect. I'm like, do it. Set up your want account and then put it towards that. I was speaking at an event last week. The guy came up to me and said, we run a little bit like this, of the profit first methodology. And he's like, my wife wants to input a pool into our backyard and it's going to cost X amount of dollars. I'm like, open up a pool account. Do that just so that way on a quarterly basis, you can at least put money towards that and tell her you're going after that goal. So it's this is why I'm so passionate about this, because I don't want to just help you with the money. I want to help you get to where ultimately, whatever you started your business for, you were not starting your business. You did not start it to become a cash eating monster. You started the business to make sure that you as an entrepreneur could get and reap all the benefits that entrepreneurialism has. This is where I want you to start to reap those now. This is not a someday event in the future. This is a today thing that if I start small, I can grow. Because if you don't, let me tell you, I have not talked about Bob, okay? There's been a reason for this. Bob, the tale of two investors up front, the one I met at a mastermind 2 years ago. Let me tell you how his story ended. I met him at a mastermind at the beginning of this year. Again, I saw him, not met him, but saw him again. And he came up to me and he looked a little sheepish and he had his head down. I'm like, what's going on, man? And he said, David, at the beginning of this year, I really wish when we met 2 years ago, I would have done something with this information. Just implemented some of the bank accounts or done anything with it. Because he said I had to make a decision between bankruptcy or letting go of my staff. And he let go of all of his staff and went down to being a solopreneur again. I'm like, it broke my heart. I love this guy. He's a great human being. He helps people. He does real estate himself. It hurt me when he said that, because I'm like, you know why it hurt me? Because it's avoidable. Becoming insolvent like that because of the cash flow and stuff is avoidable. It's avoidable if you put these things in place, have better processes with your money. People ask me all the time, well, what if I'm not profitable? How can this help me? Focusing on the profitability and keeping more of what you're making is the point. because you haven't been focused on it, it's gone downhill. Now we have to focus on it and get systems in place so we can pull ourselves out of it and stay out of it. That's why I'm like, I don't want to preach doom and gloom. I am not a doom and gloom guy. I didn't even have this story until this year. I've heard stories like this in the past, but now this happened to a friend of mine. And he said, tell everyone my story. Like, they need to listen to what you're saying just because they don't need to end up where I did. And he got on the plane. He's doing better today. But I wish he would have started 2 years ago. I wish we would have started this before we were doing 25 deals a month. Like, that's where we ended up. What I want you to end up is like Joey, where if you catch it early enough or you catch it right now, how can the next few years look like? I told you his first want draw from his want bucket from that Keep account was a 3-day weekend trip. Well, last year, he calls me up and he says, David, I filled up all my accounts and it was June. It was June. And he's like, I don't need to do another deal this year. This was last year. I'm like, dang, that is really good. And he said, all of the other deals this year will be icing on the cake. So you know what he did? In August of last year, he took a 3-week road trip with his family in an RV that he bought from the want account. The reason he started his business, when I asked him, why did you start it? He said to spend more time with family. So he fulfilled that right there. And number 2, to give to charity. That's what on the right-hand side is. He said, he sent me this text message at the beginning of this year and said, this is how much I was able to give to this camp that I've always wanted to give to, for this charity and for this group to be able to send kids there. And I called him once he texted me this. I'm like, Joey, that is incredible, man. You gave this amount of money. I'm like, does this dollar amount ring a bell though? And he's like, I could hear the light bulb click on the other end. He's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, that's how much you lost several years ago. $70,000. He was in the hole when he went into his CPA's office. And last year he gave $71,000 from a giving account that he set up because that's what is important to him, and gave to that camp for kids. And this is why I'm so passionate about this stuff, because I'm not just here to help you with the freaking bookkeeping or to help you with this and that and the other thing. All that has to get taken care of. I'm here to help you get where you're going, wherever you're wanting to be. That might not be exactly what Joey's destination is, but whatever it is for you, wherever it is that financial freedom means to you, this is what's on the other side of the finances stopping you. If you're going to do the deals, don't let the money stop you from an experience like this. That's what I want to give you. This was so cool because I got to see financial freedom play out in real time. And I've seen it now over and over and over, dozens and dozens, now hundreds of times with people because they've implemented something like this inside of their business. That's what I want for you. That's why I'm so passionate. That's why I'm very, very grateful to Carolina and to Tom for having me to come and speak, because I want to give you this information. That's why here, I'm going to do a couple more things here. I'm going to, like I said at the beginning, going to give you that cheat sheet. I'm going to give you access to the book. And like, if you want to book a call, I'd love to help you. I'm just going to explain some of that now at the end, because I don't want the finances to stop you from getting from where you want to go. And if they are, there is a way out. You don't have to live there. So here we go, because I don't want you to end up here and being in your rat race and this symbolizing just staying stuck in that wheel. Here's what I want to give you. I want to give you my full book, at least the ebook and audio book. I recorded it on Audible because I'm an entrepreneur and I listen to lots of books on the go or podcasts, things like that. So if you want that, I want to give that to you. Also, a Profit First cheat sheet that gives you a visual overview of what I was talking about, and the Find Your Keep number and the tap sheet. So you have that, because people ask me all the time, what are the percentages? What do I need to do here? When do I need to start Profit First? That's usually one of the biggest questions I get. And it's like, start now. Start right now. If you're at deal 0 and you're getting set up to do real estate, or if you're at deal 70 like Bob is, or if you're at deal 1000, wherever you are, start it from the next deal, okay? This will help at least get you up and running. If you need help though, and if you need someone to hold your hand, I did create a company. It's actually 5 years ago this month that I created Simple CFO, and now we've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people in the real estate investing arena. That's why Carolina and I know a lot of people in the same space. I've worked with a lot of those people. We know a lot of them. That's how we even got connected. One of our clients connected us to Tom and to Carolina, because what we do is we come in and say, all this stuff I just talked about, if you're like, there's no way I want to do anything with that unless someone can help me with all of it. That's what we do. We're a fractional CFO. A fractional CFO comes in as a leader. If I created a bookkeeping company or a CPA company, that's like handing you that loaded gun to tell you, here, wear another hat. Wear the CFO hat as the CEO of your company and manage the bookkeeper or manage the CPA. I don't want to do that to you. What I want to do is provide a part-time financial leader on your team that leads the bookkeeper and make sure that you're getting the actual numbers you need to see from the business without you having to do all the nitty-gritty behind the scenes stuff, and it's just presented to you. Number two, we implement profit first and this cash flow methodology that I was talking about tonight. So that way, you know, this is how much I need and want from the business and how much I can actually take without feeling bad about it. Number three, we set up a dashboard. The dashboard, what the heck is that? You know, if you have the profit and loss, if you have the balance sheet, that's like the rear view mirror data of what you've done. It has already happened. A dashboard says, here's where you're going. It's like, here's the GPS in your car that tells you, here's where I am right now and the most efficient way to get to where I'm going. Like I said, that wherever that going is that financial freedom. And I'd rather take you through a tunnel under the mountain than you trying to climb over the mountain without any gear on and having no idea what you're doing. I want to take you right to the destination as fast as possible of where you want to end up. So that's what the CFO is doing. He's then, or she, he or she on the team, because I've got over 30 CFOs there, they help you make sure that you are getting to where you want to go and the numbers are reflecting that. And you just show up and say, am I on the right or wrong track? What decisions do we need to make about the money? So that way, you know exactly where you are and where you stand financially if we can help you from that perspective. And a lot of people ask, well, I'm just at my first deal or I'm at my first 10 deals or I haven't even started. We have different things no matter where you are on your journey. If you're new and you're just getting into this, we do have solutions for you to be able to at least get you some of this foundational stuff. If you're like, hey, I'm like Bob, I'm doing lots of deals and I need someone like this in my life, we have options for you as well too, to make sure you have a CFO there that is constantly keeping you on the right track and validating you. Like, are the numbers actually pointing to where you want to go? So we do have different levels depending on where you are on your journey, because I wanted to make someone like this accessible to you, because when people think of CFOs or chief financial officers, they think $300,000 a year in ivory tower. We are nowhere near that. We are there to help you from that leadership and management perspective. If you do need bookkeeping, we do have bookkeeping internally as well too. But you have to at least get the financial foundation laid in your business like this, making sure you have the numbers, profit first in the cash flow system and a dashboard, so you know if you're on the right or wrong track. I got to get that to you. So if you want that, that's what we could do. I did want to say, if you do book a call with our team, I'll send you a physical copy. Lots of people like the physical copy. You can buy it yourself on Amazon if you want to, but I'll send you a physical. If you just get on a call with us, we're not going to sell you hard. We're just literally going to say, are we a good fit? Yes or no? If we're not a good fit, here's who I can pin you to. So that way you at least have someone in your corner that understands real estate investing, bookkeeping, or numbers, or finances, or CPA, because so many people don't have that person in their corner, or they have the wrong person in their corner. So if you get on a call, we can at least point you in the right direction. And if you do that, all you got to do is get on the call and we will send you a physical copy of the book. Also, if you do select a CFO and you actually move forward with us and say, this sounds amazing, I don't want to think about any of this, I want you to take all this off my plate, and you do end up working with our team, because of this group and because I was connected through a client of ours, I also want to work with you once a month, because as the CFO works with you, I'll also work on the mindset side of money as well too with you. And I usually I really don't. This is not one of those things where I do this to every audience that I ever go. I do not do this usually. But because I was connected through one of our clients, I want to take special care that if you do select a CFO and work with them on any of our levels, that I'll work with you at least once a month for the first 3 months to help you on the mindset side of the money. So that way, if you got anything there, I can help you with that. I've gone through lots of stuff in the real estate world. I can give you the access to what I have and that knowledge and information if I can help you. I've been in real estate for more than 10 years now. If I can do that, if you move forward with Simple CFO, but that's just an extra thing there. That's how you get it. Either at that link. I think I might have it for the chat box here. Maybe. Let's see. I've got it somewhere. I'll put it in the chat box as well. But I wanted to at least at the end of the day, give you, like I said, the resources. The resources. Actually, I've got the long link here that'll take you right to it in there. There you go. If you want to click it, it's right there in the chat box. If you want to scan it right there on your phone, because it's easier on your phone, I wanted to make it easy for you. If you're on your phone, you can scan it or take a screenshot, because I think you've got an Android or the Apple or whatever. A screenshot will do the QR code, or you could just click that link right there. That's the long link, but that's why I wanted to give you a short link there if you wanted to type it in yourself. And I will also do this. One more thing. Simple CFO, traction. REIA. I'll also give you the short link too for those that like short links and just want to see that populate. Boom. There you go. So there's the short link. I'll delete the long link because no one likes the long link. There we go. So that's how you can get that there at that link. If you want those resources, you can download that. If, like I said, if you get on the call with our team, even if you don't move forward with our team at all and we're not a good fit, I still want to send you the physical copy. And if you want to move forward with our team, the extra there is just you get to meet with me and we're going to talk through what's going on up here, and it's going to be a safe place because I had to work through lots of stuff. This company has helped me a ton as a business owner, having someone in my corner that understands the finances, that understands all this stuff. Like, I am a product of what I'm preaching here because I need someone in my corner to make sure I'm not scaling us into oblivion. And it's so comforting to have someone there that understands the money and can talk to me like a business owner. That's what I want for you. Adrian Smoot is the one that connected us, I believe, Carolina. That was the one that connected us originally. I don't know if you know Adrian, if you're on this call, but
two connections at the same time. It was funny. I think somebody was asking to connect Tom to a podcast, and then somebody else was also connected.
Yeah,
I
was going to say we got cross-pollinated there from a couple different sources. So cool. Well, that's what I wanted to give tonight. I can open it up to question and answer now.
We normally let our members or attendees, if they have any questions related to your offer, or if they want to just share something. If anybody wants to do that, they can either unmute or they can raise their hand, and I'm happy to add you to. So if anybody has a question, just raise your hand or unmute. If not, go ahead and click on the link and sign up, because this is an amazing offer. Okay, Elena, go ahead. You can unmute.
Great. Thank you so much for awesome presentation. And from what you know about money, why do you think, what happens, what kind of processes do take place once you set up specific goal accounts? So say it's your Tesla account, your real estate investment, second home account. What happens? Why is that people cannot save as a bulk account? Like, well, just give us your impressions. Like, why does that happen?
Hey, as a speaker, you're taught, like, never say that's a great question. Like, make sure, like, thank you for that question. But that's a great question. I love that one. You know why? Because it's like, what's the psychology behind it? You're asking, like, how does that help us? Here, I'm going to give you one word: clarity. The clarity, focus. And there's a cousin of that word. What you focus on expands. And so many people get this. Okay. You walk into a bank, you set up your business checking account. What do most banks name that? Like your OPEX account, right? Or operating expenses. And you have one big bank account dedicated to just spending the money in your business. Like, there's the psychological effect of, I have one big bank account and I'm spending the money, versus I now set up these bank accounts that are named. And now, I love what you said, a Tesla account. If your dream is to get a Tesla, open up a Tesla account. I love that idea, because that's specifically for you. And then you will see the money start to drip into there. And if you're like, oh man, it's tight this month, and you're looking at an account named Tesla and you're like, I don't want to take from my Tesla account. That's a very different logic versus just some random savings account or some other account that you're just like as whatever reserves, and it's named for what you want. It's harder to take the money out of there because we want what we want from our business. So there is that psychological effect. It does. If you want a great book that is not hard to read, but it sounds like it should be hard to read, read The Psychology of Money. Great book. It's a great book. It was a New York Times bestseller. It definitely sounds like it should be harder than it is to read. I think I have it back here by Morgan Housel. But I got a lot of the stuff that I learned, through that book as well too. But there's a very psychological effect of having those different bank accounts, and then there is that change in you. Also, I'm going to be a little bit longer on this one because that made me think of one other thing. That in the original Profit First book, and I do subscribe to this, but I at least want you to set up the core accounts first, okay? Set up the make, spend, and keep account. But if you want to set up some of your accounts at a different bank, like a Tesla account, like an account that you would not want to take from easily, you might want to set it up at a different bank, make it a savings account, and make like no online access, like almost make it difficult to touch that money. So that way, that's almost more built-in discipline, because making money requires the hustle and fortitude to become a good leader. Keeping it requires the discipline to put the money there and not touch it, even when push comes to shove. So it's like having those accounts, and then you can add in like more of that psychological effect of it's at a different bank. I don't even remember that I have that money. It's almost like that's not part of my money system. And I'm just sending money there and it's staying there until I call on it for that specific purpose, like Tesla or like a reserve vault or whatever it might be for you, or whatever that want account is. So there you go. I hope that answered that question, because it's like, I want to give you, that is such a great question of why do we set this up, and why is it important to set up physical checking accounts and not just run this on a spreadsheet, not just do this in QuickBooks, because you can run this on a spreadsheet, you can run this in QuickBooks, but what you can do is go out there and open up the accounts, and now you see physical money in there, and there's just a very different effect on your brain, seeing the physical money there named for what you want. Thank you for that question, Alina.
Thank you so much.
you, David. Anybody else?
Carolina,
Yeah.
it's Bob Irwin here. How are you?
Oh, hi, Bob. Let me add you to Spotlight. How are you? Good to see you.
Great. Hey, yeah, we had Tom with us this morning, and he did a great job here in the Triad of North Carolina.
Good.
Any rate, for David, thank you very much. What I do, it took me 17 years to reach 70 transactions, and
Oh, great.
I'm on the edge of getting out the rat race. The idea here is that you hit on a point. And for anyone who's listening, set up those bank accounts in a bank across town where
Not
you can't
easy to
get to
access.
them, where
Yeah.
you don't have an ATM card for it. That's what I've done in terms of like taxes. Set up a bank account across town for your taxes. And on the other side of town, you set up one for your Tesla account. And on the other one, you set up an account for whatever. But the idea is that the closest bank to you should be the one that would have the daily activities in it, so to speak. And what I've done over the years, and I like your presentation, I like your process, your standard here. And the idea here is that, yeah, make it difficult to reach it. I got a little gray hair here. And my thing is that I've learned through the school of hard knocks is that if you put that money into the same bank account, it's going to disappear, just like Joey's money did.
Yes, it will. Good stuff. Thank you for that, Bob. I appreciate your experience on this as well, too. Cool. Any other questions or anything else I could help with tonight? Just wanted to pour into you. Hopefully this was helpful. Appreciate you coming on. I know time's the most important thing. That's one resource you can't get back, no matter what. So I appreciate you giving me your time tonight. David, how can I help you?
Well, yes, thank you, David, for the presentation. Thank you for the energy and the encouragement and the inspiration, and also the instruction, on actually motivating people to establish these accounts. So what sort of schedule did you have in mind when somebody contracts for a simple CFO participation and involvement in their company?
Yeah.
because a CPA doesn't do it, but a CFO can. And I very much like the idea of a CFO contracted, so to speak, who can provide objective advice. They're not caught up into the issues of the business and or the politics of it, and they can approach it actually from much more objective financial health, almost like a physician can be honest about input output in terms of how we maintain our health. So what do you see as a suitable schedule of engagement?
Yeah. What I see, what's the most effective? Because you hit the nail on the head. Because like you said, most CPAs don't do this. Most bookkeepers, because they're usually rear view mirror facing, we need to be proactive. So I like to see at least either bi-weekly or weekly meetings with the CFO, because it's like, are we on the right or wrong track? Because you want to know as the owner sooner rather than later, at the bare minimum monthly. Like, can you at least on a monthly basis be having a call and conversation? But if you have a bigger business, like, you need to be having a financial meeting at least, bi-weekly or weekly is my recommendation, because then you're being proactive and not just always reactive. And usually we can get out in front of things. And what you said was so important, an objective view. This is someone coming in that's going to help you from a CFO, like a higher level, but they're going to help you make those decisions without, like you said, the emotions, the issues, the politics. It's the Mr. or Miss Owner, like, wherever you are, is this decision going to help you get to where you want to be or not help you? And like, who cares what anyone else is saying? Like, we need to talk with you in order to be like, does this help you get to where you want to be? So I would, bi-weekly, weekly is really what I like to see. And like I said, monthly at the bare minimum.
So it's a coaching and also strategic planning to help, almost like an athlete get across the line by the end of the year, of what goals they want to reach.
That is really good of how you put that, because it's like, it's coaching for the owner, but it's management for the bookkeeper and CPA. Like, we manage those people, but we coach the owner on the finances, just the financial portion, to make sure you're on the right or wrong track. So that's what we're doing. I love how you equate it to athletes too. I always say this, like, real estate investors are like the athletes of the entrepreneur world, because with one check, sometimes you can make more in one check than you did the prior 12 months, depending on the deal and the deal size and whatever you're doing. And a lot of those athletes who don't have someone like that in their corner, what do those athletes do? You see them on the news all the time. Another athlete goes bankrupt because they didn't know they were actually playing the money game too. Only they used professional sports to be their vehicle to that. Well, you chose the professional athlete will have to be your real estate investing career. And now you need to make sure you have those people in your corner, so you don't go out there and be what story like so many other entrepreneurs who just run it, gun it, go out there. So I love that representation, because I love making that comparable, because it is. As a real estate investor, you are like that athlete out there. I appreciate the questions very much, David.
Especially with thresholds of certain time trials that you have to meet at certain, like the quarter mile or hurdles.
Yep.
You
Exactly.
anticipate what you're going to encounter and plan ahead with the quarters.
Yeah, exactly. And we even have a stoplight report that connects right to your dashboard. That's like, here's what's red, yellow, green, and where are you in your business, so you know if you're on the right or wrong track.
So do you engage with their QuickBooks? How do you approach it?
Yeah. If you have QuickBooks, our dashboard can connect right to that. If you use another software, we can input the data into our dashboard. So it's like, whatever software you're using, we'll take that data and we'll put it into a format that the business owner understands. So that way we're looking at the numbers, the brass tacks, the bottom line. Here's what's going on. Here's how we make the decision. So it's not just a bunch of numbers out there that you got to try and piece together from the profit and loss and the balance sheet. It's like, here's what you need to see.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you, David.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
David's.
Yeah. Yes,
okay.
for sure.
So
I think Carl
David
had a question.
Harrison, I take it that you already signed up for the call using the form. So make sure you do that, guys. And for Attraction REIA members, this is the official virtual stamp. You can stamp your card. Just put the date today, August 15th of the 2024. And David, thank you so much again.
Yeah.
I love when someone just opens our eyes and helps us see our business from the outside, because as I mentioned, we're so into that. Sometimes it's good to stop and then just see it from the outside. So thank you so much. This was
Yeah, for sure.
fantastic. Thank you so much. And then guys, just click on the link. That way you have all the amazing resources that David offered you, and then you can schedule that call. That will be so beneficial, and it will answer all the questions that you're having also right now. Well, thank you again. Anything else, David? Anything else?
I don't have anything. Carl, I thought I saw your hand raised real quick. Did you have your hand raised? Because I want to make sure, just in case. If not, then I'm good to go. But I want to say thank you so much. Time well spent. Stan, I really appreciate that. Thank you for all the love in the chat. I really do. I feel like this is a calling. I do. Like, I want to make sure you get to where you want to go. And literally, if the finances are stopping you, if I can help you, I'd love to help you no matter what. Thank you for having me on tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, everybody. And yeah, if you have any questions at all, you can send me a message if it's related to Traction or membership or Home Depot or anything else. And then make sure to click on that link. And then that way you can set up your call and get all the amazing resources. So I think that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for being with us. This concludes our August Traction REIA meeting. Make sure to check our website, our Facebook group, and again, any questions, just reach out to me. Thank you again, David.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.